Hey, what's up? This is Mike with HeadRush, and I'm here today at Sweetwater with the HeadRush Pedalboard. I'm going to give you a brief overview of the HeadRush Pedalboard and talk about some cool things about how it fits into the marketplace and how you can use it as a player. So, first and foremost, the HeadRush Pedalboard is the world's first standalone amp sim multi-effects processor with quad-core processing and a touchscreen interface. The quad-core processing allows you to do things that nothing else out there in this category can do. Things like seamless patch switching and reverb tails that go into one preset to the next without having to set up anything in advance. You can just do that from switching from rig to rig or presets. So let me speak to the HeadRush and the purpose behind it when we were developing it. You know, we wanted to put something together that was really powerful, that had really great tone. That was really important to us. It also had to be really versatile, so it had to have a lot of options. But one thing that we felt that is kind of missing from the marketplace in this category was just ease of use. And the touchscreen really is the story of the product. I'm going to give you a demonstration of that right now. We're going to start with a clean palette. So I'm going to go to New Rig. When you start off with a new rig, you have 11 empty blocks. I'm going to open one up, and you'll see you have a drop-down window with all your options here. I'm going to grab an amplifier. There's 33 different amplifier models on board, and what's really cool is when you select an amp, it automatically pairs it with a complementary cabinet. Now if you wanted to change that, all you'd have to do is double tap, and then it would access one of 15 different cabs on board, or you can select an impulse response or whatever you like. There's also 10 different microphones on board. So I'm going to go ahead and use the complementary cab, because one of the things that's really cool about the HeadRush is you don't have to do a lot of setup to get a tone right away that you can play. So let's hear what this sounds like. So right out of the gate, you have a very usable sound that you can tweak from there. So let's go ahead and build a rig from here on out. Maybe I want to grab, let's heat it up a little bit. Let's grab some overdrive. So from this point, you can drag and drop it into the signal path wherever you like. Maybe I want to separate the head from the cab and add some reverb. Now the purpose of doing that, and what's really cool about the HeadRush and the way it works, is when you separate the head and the cab and you place an effect in between, you're actually placing it into a virtual effects loop. So it actually changes the tone of what you're throwing into the signal path there. Let's give it a listen. So I can switch those on and off. As you can see, as I'm adding these, they're populating right here to the pedal board itself. So these work just as like standard stomps. What's really cool is once we have everything laid out the way that we want it, we can go ahead and place these wherever we want in hardware assign. The hardware assign feature on this is extremely easy to use. Couple pushes of a button get you into the actual hardware assign mode, and then from here you literally just drag and drop and place these wherever you want on the board. There might be certain blocks that you never want to have access to, or you may not accidentally want to stomp on. Something like the amplifier. It might not sound really good if you accidentally turn that off in the middle of a performance. So you can just actually remove that by touching it and hitting unassign. Now as you see, it's out of the board, so I'm not going to accidentally step on it. But when I go back to my signal path, the amplifier is represented right here. So we can completely manipulate where we want to place these on the board itself without jeopardizing our signal path or our signal flow. So that's really cool. Let me go ahead and add one more effect. I want to see what this sounds like with a little bit of delay. What's really cool is you notice as I'm scrolling through, these windows are opening up. So we don't have like this really long daunting list of all these different effects. Instead you have a more condensed list, and then when you open it up, you have all these different options here available to you. So a lot of presets that can kind of just get the job done. So I'm going to go ahead and access stereo delay, and let's go ahead and dial that in accordingly. Roll back the mix just a bit. There we go. Now let's give that a listen. Really cool. Now, let's say I have this all set up and ready to go. I've done this in my home studio, in my bedroom, my living room, back of the tour bus, whatever. And now I'm ready to go perform with it on stage. Well, I'm not going to want to lean down and mess with this anytime I want to make an adjustment. So what I can do is actually access hands-free mode. Hands-free mode is a really cool feature that allows you to make adjustments on the fly. So I would just place my foot down on any of the pedals, and then you can see all the different parameter values for each one of those pedals are represented here. So I can make adjustments in real time with the expression pedal. It's that fast and easy, then you can just exit out. So very much like the way that you would interface with an actual amplifier by leaning back and turning down your volume or maybe boosting your mid-range, you can do all of that hands-free while you're playing and not miss a beat with HeadRush. All right, so I'd like to go ahead and show you our seamless patch switch feature. The cool thing about the way that our unit switches patches seamlessly is it's not switching different scenes within a single preset or rig. It's actually creating a seamless crossfade between two totally different rigs, which is something no one else has ever done before. And what that does is it frees up just the artist and the player to be able to do this in a live performance situation without having to be super methodical and make all those adjustments beforehand. Let me give you an example of what that sounds like. So as you notice, there's not like a real hard stop or a click or anything that really imposes like an abrupt change that's implied here, which is something that as a guitarist that's really special to me, and I haven't ever seen it or experienced it in another unit like this. We do that the same way with our tails. We can actually crossfade our reverb and delay tails from preset to preset 2, again, without having to do these in separate scenes. It's just something that the HeadRush does automatically. So let me give you an example of that. I'm actually going to go into our Setlist Mode, which is accessible just by holding down this far left button here. And as you can see, we have all these different sounds available here, and I'm going to look for my ambient rigs. So I'm going to go Wet Effects. Okay, let's see what we got here. Okay, great. So you can hear the super long reverb or delay tail here. So I'm going to just switch between a couple of these so you can hear how this automatically crossfades over. And you can hear that natural decay from the old sound carrying out while I seamlessly switch into the next sound without having to go in and do any kind of pre-editing or anything like that. So it's just that fast and easy, really. So with the HeadRush, what you're getting essentially is an all-in-one tool that's perfect to use for practice, performance, recording. It works as a 4-in, 4-out audio interface, all the I/O that you could ever need on the back to do everything from tracking to reamping. As you can see here, we have it connected right now, balanced out as well as TS out. So it's a very versatile unit that really fits the needs of guitar players in several different applications. All right, so this has been a brief look at the HeadRush. Again, my name is Mike, and if you have any further questions, please reach out to your Sweetwater sales engineer.